The September 2025 breakthrough. Currencies on the move. The wait is finally over. For years, the international community of currency watchers, investors, and ordinary people holding foreign notes has been waiting for this precise moment, and it has arrived. September 2025 is not just another month on the calendar. It is the launch pad for what many are calling the greatest financial transition of our lifetimes. Today we stand on the edge of a reality that was once only whispered about in late-night conversations, hidden forums, and financial strategy groups. Now it is open for the world to see. The Iraqi Dinar IQD, the Vietnamese Dong VND, and yes, even long-rumored redemption mechanisms are no longer speculation. They are active, they are online, and they are moving in real time. This is not rumor. This is not one more recycled claim. This is confirmed activity with central banks, global financial oversight, and liquidity mechanisms now visible for those with eyes to see. The message is clear. The window is open, and timing will determine how much you can benefit. Let us break this down step by step, so that you not only understand what is happening, but also know how to act with clarity and confidence. The Iraqi dinar takes the stage for years. Iraq has been promising reforms. Promises of new value for the dinar have come and gone. Headlines about banking modernization, oil wealth, trade agreements, and international partnerships created excitement, but rarely translated into real-world results. Until now, the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has finally executed the step that currency holders worldwide have been waiting for, aligning its internal rate with international trading platforms. In plain English, this means the Iraqi dinar is no longer trapped inside Iraq's borders as a semi-isolated currency. It can now be traded and valued on a global scale. Screens in London, Dubai, New York, and Hong Kong are showing updated rates. Currency traders who live and breathe by numbers are reporting live movements in the IQD markets. This is not a testing signal. This is not a simulation. It is data flowing across platforms that matter. Why does this matter so much? Because international rate alignment is the trigger that places Iraq back on the global financial stage. For years, sanctions, wars, and instability kept the dinar undervalued and constrained. Investors looked at Iraq's natural resources, especially its enormous oil reserves, and could not reconcile why its currency did not reflect that wealth. Now, with reforms implemented, governance structures improving, and oil contracts being signed, Iraq is signaling to the world that it is ready for serious participation in global markets. This is not just symbolic, it is practical. With an internationally recognized and tradable rate, Iraq can settle trade in dinars, attract foreign investors more easily, and offer a stable environment for economic growth. For holders of IQD notes, this is the precise condition they were waiting for, the green light that confirms their patience was not in vain. Vietnam quietly steps forward while Iraq grabs headlines. Vietnam has taken equally important, though quieter, steps. The State Bank of Vietnam, SBV, has adjusted the dong to bring it into line with parity expectations recommended by the International Monetary Fund, IMF. For years, analysts have argued that the dong was undervalued compared to Vietnam's real economic power. The nation has become a manufacturing powerhouse, often called the Factory of Asia, with a consistent trade surplus and a growing middle class. Vietnam has climbed into global supply chains, competing directly with China for foreign direct investment and providing stability in a volatile region. By aligning its rate with IMF guidance, Vietnam signals two things. First, that it is willing to play by international rules, and second, that it intends to project itself as a serious economic leader in Southeast Asia. This is exactly the kind of structural adjustment that makes a currency revaluation possible. Currency watchers understand this move is not about a one-time spike in value. It is about setting the foundation for Vietnam to continue attracting investment, stabilizing trade balances, and rewarding those who believed in its long-term growth story. If Iraq's revaluation is the loud declaration, Vietnam's adjustment is the quiet confirmation that the dominoes are falling across multiple nations. The redemption portal goes live. Perhaps the most dramatic confirmation of all is the activation of the long-discussed redemption portal. For years, this idea has been the subject of endless speculation. A secure online system where currency holders could schedule appointments, receive instructions, and move through the redemption process in an organized way. As of this September window, the portal is live. Tier 4B participants, those in the private exchange tier, have already begun receiving notifications. These include secure login details, direct links, and unique codes allowing them to book appointments at designated redemption centers. Even more critical, Tier 5, the general public access tier, is expected to open shortly. That means that ordinary holders of dinar, dong, and other eligible currencies will have their chance to schedule appointments and complete exchanges at higher-than-market rates. Why is the portal so important? Because it proves that this process is structured, planned, and officially sanctioned at levels far above rumor. This is not random bank tellers deciding what to do. This is a coordinated infrastructure with appointments, codes, and clear instructions. The existence of this system alone validates what insiders have been saying for years, that when the time came, there would be a controlled mechanism to manage the flow of redemptions, avoid chaos, and protect both the system and the participants. Liquidity released globally, one of the greatest doubts in the community has always been, even if the rates go live, will there be enough money to pay everyone? That question has now been answered. Reports confirm that global liquidity pools have been authorized and released. In practice, this means that banks and redemption centers will not be scrambling for funds. They have been pre-positioned, funded, and cleared to pay out exchanges at the higher negotiated rates. This was a key piece of the puzzle. Without liquidity, the entire process would collapse under its own weight. With liquidity, it becomes a seamless flow of value transfer from central pools into individual accounts. For the ordinary participant, this means you no longer have to worry about whether the bank has enough. The infrastructure is funded. The green light is on. All that remains is for you to step into your appointment prepared. Why timing matters more than ever. The signals, from Iraq's rate alignment to Vietnam's IMF consistent move, from the portal activation to global liquidity release, are not random. They are synchronized. They are designed to happen together, creating a window of opportunity that is both historic and time-sensitive. Make no mistake, this window is not designed to stay open indefinitely. The strategy is clear: process as many exchanges as possible quickly, stabilize the system, and move forward into the new reality. For you, this means urgency. Those who act early are likely to access the best contract rates, the smoothest redemption experiences, and the least resistance in the process. Those who delay risk encountering bottlenecks, reduced options, and even lower rates as the system stabilizes. This is not fear-mongering. It is the reality of how such financial transitions are managed. A wealth event unlike any other. Let's pause and recognize the scale of what is unfolding. For many people holding dinar, dong, or ZIM notes, this is not just another financial transaction. It is a once-in-a-generation wealth event. Few opportunities in history have combined patience, preparation, and timing in such a dramatic way. Imagine paying off every debt you owe, not over decades, but instantly. Imagine securing the home of your dreams, launching the business you always envisioned, or establishing trusts that protect your children and grandchildren for generations. Imagine being able to fund humanitarian projects, not as a distant dream, but as a tangible reality. This is the kind of moment that will be written about in future textbooks. It is not hype, it is history. And you are not a bystander, you are a participant. Action steps for success. So, how do you make sure you succeed in this narrow window? The answer lies in preparation. 1. Verify your currency. Inspect each note. Look for watermarks, security threads, and color-shifting ink. Ensure your notes are not damaged. Redemption centers will check authenticity with machines, but condition still matters. Organize by denomination for efficiency. 2. Gather documentation: government-issued photo ID, valid passport or driver's license, proof of residence, utility bill, bank statement, or lease, appointment confirmation code from the portal. 3. Schedule immediately when your link arrives, act without delay. Appointment slots are first come, first served. Early callers not only get peace of mind but also potential access to higher rates. 4. Know your numbers. Decide in advance. Do you want public rates or will you negotiate for contract rates? Plan your liquidity versus structured payouts. Allocate percentages for trusts, investments, and personal use. 5. Secure your wealth. Request segregated, insured accounts. Consider multi-signature protections. Consult wealth managers and tax professionals to avoid costly mistakes. 6. Stay calm and professional. Do not let hype, fear, or misinformation cloud your judgment. Treat every banker, wealth manager, and official with respect. Ask questions until you fully understand what you are signing. The mindset shift. Finally, success in this process is not only about paperwork and numbers, it is about mindset. Approach this opportunity with calm focus. Understand that it is the result of years of patience, perseverance, and belief. Recognize that wealth is not only about money, but also about responsibility. You have the chance to change your own life, your family's future, and potentially entire communities. This is about empowerment, freedom from debt, freedom to pursue dreams, freedom to fund legacies. The September 2025 window is not just financial, it is transformational. The signals are undeniable. Iraq has rejoined the international stage. Vietnam has confirmed its readiness. The redemption portal is live. Global liquidity has been released. This is the convergence we have been waiting for. The green light is on. The opportunity is here. The question now is not whether this is real. The evidence is overwhelming. The question is, are you ready to act? The global reset unfolds. Strategy, power, and legacy. If Section 1 revealed the activation moment, the green light of the currency transition, then Section 2 is about stepping back and seeing the wider landscape. What is happening now is not only about exchange rates, redemption portals, or new bank accounts. It is about the rebalancing of wealth, the recalibration of nations, and the rewriting of economic history. The September 2025 window is more than a financial event. It is a geopolitical and social transformation. To understand it fully, we need to examine the moving pieces behind the curtain, the mechanics that will drive the process, and the mindset required to sustain wealth in the long run. The global orchestration, IMF and BIS at the helm, the involvement of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, is the clearest signal that this transition is coordinated, deliberate, and systemic. The IMF is the referee of global monetary order. Whenever a nation adjusts its exchange rate, restructures its banking system, or seeks to stabilize its economy, the IMF plays a supervisory role. Their approval ensures that changes are not reckless, but are consistent with global stability. The BIS, often called the Central Bank of Central Banks, manages the coordination between monetary authorities worldwide. If the IMF sets the rules, the BIS makes sure everyone plays by them at the same time. Their fingerprints on this process tell us that Iraq's move, Vietnam's adjustment, and the portal activation are not isolated events. They are part of a synchronized script. Think about it. The world economy is an intricate web. If one currency suddenly skyrockets in value without preparation, the shockwaves could destabilize trade, banking, and investment. The only way such a revaluation can occur safely is with coordination at the highest levels. The IMF and BIS presence is proof that this is not a local policy shift. It is a global reset strategy. Geopolitical stakes. Iraq and Vietnam in the spotlight. Iraq. From conflict to confidence, Iraq has lived under the shadow of sanctions, war, and internal conflict for decades. Its people have endured cycles of instability that eroded trust in financial systems and destroyed economic confidence. Yet beneath the turmoil, Iraq has always possessed a trump card: oil. With some of the largest proven reserves in the world, Iraq sits atop a resource that powers global industry. The problem was never whether Iraq was wealthy in resources. It was whether it could translate that wealth into a strong, respected currency. Now, by revaluing the dinar and reconnecting with global markets, Iraq signals its arrival as a serious economic player. This shift gives Iraq leverage in OPEC negotiations, strengthens its hand in trade deals, and rebuilds the trust of foreign investors. For ordinary citizens and dinar holders, it is more than money. It is validation that Iraq is back on the financial map. Vietnam, the Asian tiger awakens. Vietnam's story is different, but equally compelling. Over the past 2 decades, Vietnam has transformed itself from a developing nation into one of Asia's fastest-growing economies. Factories have sprung up, exports have multiplied, and the nation has moved into direct competition with China as a hub for manufacturing. And yet, its currency, the Dong, remained undervalued. This was a deliberate strategy. helping exports remain cheap and attractive, but it also prevented the dong from reflecting the nation's true strength. By aligning with IMF parity guidance, Vietnam takes a bold step. It is ready to let its currency reflect reality. This not only empowers Vietnam domestically, but positions it as a rising regional powerhouse. Investors will look at the dong differently from now on, not as a suppressed note, but as a currency backed by growth, trade, and stability. The mechanics of redemption. How it works for many, the mystery of the redemption process has been the greatest source of uncertainty. How will it actually happen? Will banks really be ready? Will there be chaos? Here's what we know. 1. Tiers of participation. Tier 4B includes private exchange participants who receive early notifications. They are now booking appointments through the portal. Tier 5 represents the general public. Access is expected to follow shortly, with wide availability of appointments. 2. The portal system. Every participant receives a secure link or code. This code allows booking at an authorized redemption center. Without the code, you cannot access the system. This prevents fraud and chaos. 3. Redemption centers, not ordinary bank branches. These are specialized facilities staffed with trained professionals. They are equipped with security, authentication machines, and wealth management advisors. Their goal is to move participants quickly but thoroughly through the process. 4. Liquidity assurance. The biggest question mark has been answered. Banks have pre-positioned funds. Global liquidity pools are active. This means no participant has to fear being turned away because the money isn't there. The money is there. 5. Rates. Public versus contract. Public rates are the baseline, what everyone will eventually see on Forex. Contract rates are higher, available to early participants or those willing to structure payouts. Knowing your target rate ahead of time is critical to successful negotiation. This is not chaos. This is order, and the fact that such a system exists shows years of planning have gone into this exact moment. The psychology of wealth. Avoiding the pitfalls. It is one thing to exchange currency and see digits appear in your account. It is another to sustain wealth, protect it, and grow it for the future. Many who enter this process will be tempted to treat it like a lottery win. That mindset is dangerous. Lotteries produce sudden wealth, and statistics show that within 5 years, most winners lose it all. Why? Lack of planning, lack of discipline. You must not let that be your story. Wealth requires mindset. Here are principles to carry with you. Respect the process. Walk into your appointment with professionalism. This is a financial negotiation, not a party. Stay grounded. Don't let large numbers overwhelm your common sense. Money magnifies who you already are. Plan, don't react. Decide in advance what percentage you will keep liquid, what you will invest, and what you will allocate to legacy projects. Seek expertise. Wealth managers, tax attorneys, and financial planners exist for a reason. Lean on them. Think long-term. This is not about one purchase or 1 year. It is about generational impact. Wealth is not just money in the bank. It is the ability to make decisions with clarity and responsibility. The larger vision. A reset for humanity. At the heart of this event lies something bigger than numbers. The revaluation of currencies is not simply about rewarding investors. It is about rebalancing wealth on a global scale. For Iraq, it means emerging from decades of hardship into a new era of prosperity. For Vietnam, it means stepping into its rightful place as a rising economic leader. For holders of these currencies, it means freedom, freedom from debt, freedom to dream, freedom to give. But the implications stretch even further. Imagine debt-free communities. Imagine schools built where none existed. Imagine humanitarian projects funded not by governments or charities, but by individuals who suddenly have the means to act. Imagine veterans supported, children fed, wells dug, and small businesses launched. This is why so many in the community say this moment is about empowerment, not just enrichment. Yes, there will be new cars, homes, and vacations. But more importantly, there will be new opportunities to change lives. The Global Currency Reset, GCR, is not about one nation or one person. It is about restoring balance, fairness, and potential across the human family. Managing the timeline. Urgency with patience. We must also be realistic. The window is open, but it is limited. The goal of this orchestrated reset is efficiency, to process as many exchanges as possible in a short period, stabilize the system, and prevent disruption. That means urgency is real. Early participants will benefit most, But it also means you must combine urgency with patience. Do not rush into your appointment unprepared. Do not make reckless decisions in the first hours of sudden wealth. Prepare, organize, and walk through the process calmly. Urgency gets you to the table. Patience keeps you from losing what you gain. A call to action. So where does this leave us? The IMF and BIS confirm this is global. Iraq and Vietnam confirm readiness. Banks confirm liquidity. The portal confirms structure. Screens confirm rates. The evidence is overwhelming. The green light is undeniable. The opportunity is now. The only remaining question is, will you act with wisdom? This is not just about showing up. It is about showing up prepared. It is about transforming years of waiting into a lifetime of opportunity. It is about executing with precision, then protecting and multiplying what you receive. Final thought. Legacy over luxury. In closing, let's zoom out one last time. Yes, you can buy the dream house. Yes, you can retire early. Yes, you can enjoy luxuries you once thought impossible. But beyond all of that, the true power of this moment lies in legacy. Legacy is what you build that outlasts you. It is the school you fund, the trust you establish, the lives you improve. Legacy turns wealth into meaning. As you prepare for your redemption, remember, this is bigger than money. This is history. This is empowerment. This is a once-in-a-lifetime reset, and you are not watching from the sidelines, you are walking into the center of it. Act wisely. Act boldly. And above all, act with gratitude. Disclaimer: all content provided by IQD Global Intel is for educational and informational purposes only. We are not financial advisors and do not provide investment, trading, or banking advice. Viewers should always conduct their own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions.